Okay, hello and good morning. We're in week 2, and so you should have a new sheet of paper. Remember, you're going to turn in 9 pages of bell work at the end of the marking period. All work has to be turned in through Canvas. Take a picture, a clear picture, make sure a heading's on there, or I can't give you credit. Okay? Show your work, copy the problems. All right, so here's a new sheet of paper. At the top is week 2. Put a big week 2 up there. Write it real big. All right, let's take a look. Subtraction. Well, let's take a look at this one right here. When you subtract, you want to put 5 over 1 minus 5 times 2 is 10, 11 over 5. You want to take this bottom number and put it over here. And you want to take this bottom number and put it over here. And that's not going to change. So this is 25 over 5, which, by the way, equals 5. And then minus 11 over 5. Now that your denominators are the same, you subtract. So I think that's 14 over 5. You could leave it as an improper fraction, but I want you to know how to do this. The top number goes inside, the outside number, or the bottom number goes outside. So it's almost 3, but it's 2, and it's 10, and the remainder is 4. So it's 4 over 5. And that's how you write it as a mixed number. Make sure you know that. Okay, hopefully you worked on your times tables this weekend. Make sure you have that chart completed. So this is 5 over 1 plus 10 plus 1 makes 11 over 5. Multiply by 5, which is that one. So it's 25 over 5 minus 11 over 5, which gives you, or rather plus. So we're adding, so it's going to be 36 over 5. And then 5 goes into that 7 times, which is 35, with 1 left over. And that's how you write it. Let's go on. Raise your hand if you need help. The next one is subtraction. So you're going to do 3 times 3 is 9. So 10 over 3 minus 5 over 1. You're going to take the 1 and put it over here. You're going to take the 3 and put it over here. So I'm going to get 10 over 3 minus 15 over 3. I have the same denominator. Do I have more pluses or do I have more minuses? I have 5 more minuses, so it's going to be, you got to subtract and get 5, and then keep the sign you have more of. You have more negatives, so it's got to be a negative. That's rule number 2. Opposite signs, subtract, which I did. 15 minus 10 is 5. And then keep the sign that you have more of. What do you have more of? Last one. The last one, the signs are the same. So it's 10 plus 1. So it's 11 over 5 minus 10 over 3. The signs are the same, so you add that up and get 21 over 3. Keep the sign. So it's going to be a negative 7 on that one. All right, put away your bell work. Let's talk about today's work. Today we're starting 1.3, order of operations. Okay, so let's take a look up here. Copy down what you see. This one right here is going to be 4 3 times. So it's 4 times 4 times 4. 4 times 4 is 16, and 16 times 4, I think, is 64. And let me show you that on your calculator. So clear your calculator out. Press 4, hit Shift. No, you see that XY key? Hit the XY key if you have it, and then raise it to the third power. 64. Right there. Now you might have a different calculator, so you got to figure it out. If you can't figure it out, just do 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, watch again. Clear it out. 4, hit the XY key, raise it to the third power, and press equals. Try that on your calculator. This one right here is 3 over 4. 3 times. You multiply the top numbers. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So it's going to be 27 over 64. 4 to the third power. Okay? You should try to reduce. All right, I'm not sure you can. All right, let's get to this one. Now this one, only the parentheses is expanded 3 times, not the 4. So it's going to be 4 times, and then 3 of these. 5x, 5x, 5x. I'm going to say it again. Only what's inside the parentheses. All right, so now you're going to do 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125, and then times 4. So it's going to be 125 times 4. So you're going to get 500. Now, when you multiply, you add exponents. Write that down. When you multiply, add exponents. That's a rule. So here, I'm multiplying x to the first. So I'm going to add up 1 plus 1 plus 1 and get x to the third power. I'm going to say it again. When you multiply, you add or subtract exponents. All right, I think I took care of that. Now let's talk about order of operations. You've heard of this. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. She's a little disgusting. Okay? Parentheses and exponents are at the top. Multiplying and dividing is at the bottom. And adding and subtracting is at the very bottom. Okay? And you always do it from right to left. That's real important. So look up here. I go from, let me change that, from left to right. All right, change that up. So I start here on the left and I go this way. I see exponents. Exponents are way up here. So I do 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. Then I do inside the parentheses first. Okay, parentheses way up here. So parentheses are right here. Multiplying is higher than subtraction. See, multiplying is higher than subtraction. So I got to do this first. So I'm going to have 2 times 8 minus 6. And 8 minus 6 is 2. And 2 times 2 is 4. So it's going to be 125 minus 4. You got to follow these rules. And you got to go from left to right. All right, try this one. Parentheses come first. Multiplying will come next. So the parentheses is 5. So it's 3 times 5, which is 15, plus 5 gives you 20. Okay, not too hard. Actually, this is a fraction. So 20 is on the top. Now minus and then times. This means times. And times is higher. So that's 12. So that's 17 minus 12. So the final answer is going to be 20 over 5. And 20 over 5 is 4. Okay, that was a fraction. Sorry about that. All right, here's today's work. I want you to start and try to finish tonight this right here. We're going to pick up on 1.3 tomorrow. Okay, make sure you turn in your syllabus by today and make sure it's all signed and everything and upload it to Canvas. All I really want is the signature part, okay? And then the next thing is tomorrow you're going to be turning in some work. So check Canvas and I'll add to that list. Have a good morning. All right, now let's go to geometry. Okay, copy everything you see. This is week 2. You got some homework due. Check on Canvas, okay? The syllabus is due. All I want is the signature part. This is week 2, so it's a brand new sheet. Put week 2 real big. Let's do distance and midpoint. All right, well, distance looks like this. Come on, let's try to get this right. So xy, xy. Your x's go in the first one. So it's -2 minus a -2. Minus a -2. That's a double negative. And then -5 minus a -8. So this is going to be a plus. Well, 2 and minus 2 is 0. So forget about that. This becomes a plus. 8 minus 5 is 3. So it's going to be 3 squared, which is 9. And the square root of 9 is 3. So the distance for number 1 is 3. If you need help, ask. Next, midpoint. Midpoint, you add up the x's. So -2 and -2. So -2 plus a -2 divided by 2. It's a midpoint. So that's going to be a -4 over 2, which is a -2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Negative divided by positive. If it's one negative, it's a negative. You add up the y's. Well, that gives me a -13, I think. So it's going to be a -13 over 2, and you're done. This is your midpoint. Make sure you know that, okay, because I'm moving on. Now, there's some construction that I'm going to have you do, but I'm going to have you do it at home. I'm going to send out videos for your parents, and you can just copy it. You don't have to go out and buy anything. All right, first two rows, come up and grab a workbook. Put your name on the front cover and take it home. Leave it home. It's your workbook. Okay? Also, kids at home, you can download the workbook. I have it up there. And one last thing, my workbooks stay in the classroom. Okay? Next two rows, when they're done, and then anybody else, get a workbook. Okay? I'm going to mark down who takes one, so we're not going to be double dipping here. Here's your assignment. Go to 1.3 in your new workbook and start working. You can write in your workbook. It's yours. Okay? I think you would get more out of copying the problems, but that's up to you. Okay? I'll accept either. All right. Have a good morning.